Now, I have to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, who is not hard to introduce because he's so amazing and awesome. He's been in the legislature for almost 20 years altogether. It's approaching that. Has tons of experience in the House and the Senate. And he's actually the Senate Democratic Caucus Chair. And he is, as you all know, strong on environmental protection, women's rights, energy efficiency, public education, job creation, and he's very especially helpful and supportive for LGBT rights. He is one of our strongest advocates. He is always in our corner, and we very much appreciate him. And he is coming back for his second Master of Ceremonies for a quality breakfast. He did our very first one. We're very happy to have Senator McEachin here.
Good morning. I appreciate that introduction, but all you had to say is that I'm a McAuliffe Democrat, and that would have covered all those things. It's my pleasure. I get to be like Vanna White. I get to hand out a bunch of awards today. And we're going to start off with the Mark R. Warner Political Leadership Award. And this is an award that's given for several years, that we've given for several years now. It goes to a political official who's demonstrated courage and leadership on behalf of our issues, standing up for civil rights and human rights of gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgender communities. Today we are proud to recognize our Governor Terry McAuliffe, and we're especially excited that he's taken the time to be with us and offer our keynote address. I can say a lot about the governor. In a moment, I'm going to introduce Levar to do just that. But I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that I have had occasion to work with him. I've seen his passion on healthcare. I've seen his passion on job creation. But where I think all of us in this room are most grateful for is his determination, as I said in our prayer, to stand on the issue of civil rights, to run on the issue of civil rights, not to back down, not to whisper about it, but to say, hey, this dominion, this old dominion of ours will be a new dominion and a welcoming dominion. And for that, Governor, we are all eternally grateful. And as he says, I'm sorry, Governor, I know I'm stealing a page out of your book, but as he says, he's the first Southern governor to perform a gay wedding, and the skies didn't fall, the universe is still in order. And so, Governor, again, we thank you for your commitment on this issue, as well as the others. We're also fortunate here today to have our Secretary of the Commonwealth with us. He has been at the governor's side, making sure that his policies are implemented, and perhaps the policy that we're all most grateful for beyond just equality is the notion of restoring the rights of former felons. We all like to say that we are a society of second chances. Sometimes the legislature is a little slow about second chances, but this governor, with his Secretary of the Commonwealth, has restored more rights of former felons than any governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that's what falls down. We all have had a chance to watch Levar grow up from being a college graduate to being executive director of our party, and now to being the Secretary of the Commonwealth. My friends, I give you Levar Stoney. Hey.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Now, I will have to first let you guys know that I was supposed to be at James Madison University today. Because today, JMU plays Colgate in the FCS playoffs. Hence why I'm wearing my purple. I got my purple socks going today as well. But I could not miss the opportunity to be here with the LGBT Democrats. That's right. There's a lot of familiar faces in the room, but as Senator McEachin said, yeah, you guys have seen me grow up. But the last project I've been working on is making sure that we, number one, elected Terry McAuliffe, the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we did that. Now, real quick, I'm going to just talk about what you get for all your hard work. You know, we are very, very proud of our economic development chops, because we have Terry McAuliffe. So far, we've brought in more than $9 billion, 9.17, Governor, billion dollars in capital investment to the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's double. Yeah, you can involve that. That's more than the last 2 governors put together. That's double than any governor has ever brought in. We've created more than 67,000 jobs in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
68,700.
Okay. There are more people working in the Commonwealth of Virginia now than at any time in its history. The governor not only understands that we need to build a new Virginia economy, but also he knows that we can't build that new Virginia economy without new Virginia values. And I've been proud of the governor because, number one, we've worked hard on the restoration of civil rights, more than any governor has in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, 13,000 plus. We've also provided health care to pregnant women in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Additionally, the governor was the first governor to ensure that now the LGBT community can actually adopt in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The governor understands that Virginia is a better place. Virginia is at its best when we treat everyone with the human dignity that they deserve. Virginia is at its best when we have a pro-business progressive at the helm of leadership in Virginia. Virginia is at its best because we have Terry McAuliffe, the best governor in all the United States of America. So it is my honor to bring to you the 72nd Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, His Excellency, Terrence R. McAuliffe.
Thank you, everybody. Please be seated. What an honor to be here with you today. Let's give a great round of the greatest senator who has ever walked. Let me tell you this, the greatest member in the history of the General Assembly, and I'm counting Patrick Henry, the whole group, James Madison, Don McEachin. Is he not spectacular? And I do want to thank our great Secretary of the Commonwealth. And when he talks about that, think about it, folks. We've restored the rights of over 13,000 felons. We'll be up to 20,000 soon. We have already shattered every record, but if you could be with us at these events, we just had a great event the other day. A gentleman we did at an event we were at, he wanted to get his voting rights back. He hadn't been able to vote in 60 years. 60 years. Wow. And when we gave him his rights back, he broke down in tears up at the podium. I mean, that's why it's great being governor, that you can actually do something to help these folks. And these 13,000, and people say, oh, why give their rights back? They don't vote. Not true. I think it's close to 70% of the rights we have restored, they have immediately gone and registered to vote, which is really extraordinary. So I want to thank Levar Stoney. Give him a great round of applause for the great work Secretary does. We want to make a new Virginia, and I'm proud, the first African-American Secretary of the Commonwealth in the history of our great Commonwealth. You should know that I appointed the first African-American mansion director in the history of the Commonwealth, and shockingly, we just unveiled a portrait of Oliver Hill in the governor's mansion. For the first time in 202 years, there is an African-American hanging on the walls of our great esteemed governor's mansion in Richmond. Like, white old men, and they're fine, but when Dorothy and I walked in, we said, wow, all these white guys looking down at us in the mansions we walked around. We thought we'd shake it up a little bit, so we've actually done it. It's the right thing to do. And listen, no one should be surprised. I have fought hard for the LGBT rights. As both Don and Levar mentioned, when I ran for governor, I was the first candidate, not only in Virginia, but in the entire South, to come out for marriage equality. And that was a unique, something hadn't been done in Virginia before. I was proud to do it. And then once I did it, a lot of other politicians came out after, but I ran on the issue. I talked about the issue. I told women I'd be a brick wall to protect their rights. They were going to shut down, as you know, the 18 women's health clinics. the legislature, their infinite wisdom, had tried to make our women's clinics comply with hospital regulations. Well, these are not hospitals. These facilities provide such care to hundreds of thousands of women, many indigent women. It's the only health care access they have. And you know, if you do the hospital regulations, you have to widen the walls, you have to add water fountains, you have to add parking spots. Come on, we know what the deal was. They all operate, they make no money. It was literally to shut them all down, as we know. It had nothing to do with safety. It was about shutting these clinics down. And as you know, I reappointed the Board of Health with my appointees, and after a lovely 13-hour meeting, we removed that regulation from the code. So all of our women's health clinics are stay open. So I have not shied away from one thing once I've gotten into office. Actually, I think as you all know, I love a good fight. It is what it is. I don't shy away from it. You punch me, I'm going to punch you back twice as hard. I'm sorry. I ran to get things done here in Virginia. I stand up for people. We have had tremendous success. All the members of the LGBT community, I have fought on every issue, as Levar talked about, on adoption and other issues. We held the first LGBT event at the governor's mansion. The walls stayed up too. You know, my point has always tried to be is, listen, we got to be open and welcoming to everyone. I call myself a fiscally conservative. I'm a very pro-business Democrat. I'm very socially progressive. I believe the government ought to be out of people's personal lives. My job is to create jobs. That's what I think about. And we can do that. Hello, Madam Chair. Good morning. Our great chair, Susan Schweiker, has come in. And I think the great success on this business stuff has really opened people's eyes, because I have had more Republican conservatives come up to me and say, you know, I didn't really like some of your social agenda, but you are creating a lot of jobs. And they're buying the argument that if you're open and welcoming, it creates economic activity. So there has really been a change of mindset here in Virginia, which is great. Levar talked about the numbers. As you know, when I became governor, I inherited one of the largest deficits in Virginia history. 2 years later, we announced the largest surplus in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, folks. We have shattered every economic development record, double any governor in Virginia history, and we're just getting warmed up. 2016, from the handshakes I already have with companies and individuals, 2016 is going to be a banner year for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we talk about job creation. Also important that people get paid ways that they can provide for their family, and they have benefits to it, and that's as important as creating a job. So I know we got Doris here. Let's hear it for the men and women in our great labor movement. And we actually netted one seat in the House of Delegates. We spent $18 million, we netted one seat in the House of Delegates. It wasn't for want of trying, I can tell you that, but why does that one seat matter? They now, I luckily have had the Senate. I am 27-0. I have yet to have one of my vetoes overridden, thanks to our Senate. Thank you, Senator. And it's a record I don't want to see stopped. I mean, but now with our one seat, we have 34 members of the House of Delegates. They can't override my veto now in the House of Delegates. So it's progress. I just want to thank all of you. I wanted to come here today and thank all of you. You worked hard in the last election. We are slowly chipping away. The big problem we have, as you know, in Virginia, these horribly gerrymandered districts on these off-year elections. Listen, we put everything on the ground here, raised an incredible amount of money. I think we spent literally 6 times what any governor had ever raised and spent on off-year elections, 6 times more. But don't forget candidates who have run. They maybe not win. I didn't win the first time. If you remember, I ran on a platform with big ideas, high-speed rail, renewable energy. Well, you don't like it, don't vote for me. And you didn't. That's all right. But thank these candidates who actually, so pick up the phone and call. But I want to thank you all for how hard you worked the last election. We have a huge election coming up.